Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today, and today we're talking about JD Logistics IPO. This IPO is going to be pretty big, pretty huge. JD wants to actually make $5 billion from this IPO, which they're going to estimate this to be like a 40, maybe $50 billion market cap when it comes out into the market. This is probably be the second largest Chinese IPO in history. So this is going to be huge news when it comes out when they start IPOing JD Logistics. And we got to get into this video to see, is this a good investment to get into? Because I feel like it's time to find we want to find at least one or two companies where we can invest early and get that huge upside of the company. So even though these companies don't make, a lot of these IPO companies that are coming out do not make a profit, but we want to get the good story, a good company that we think can actually grow into the future. Because can you imagine getting into a company like Amazon or Walmart very early on and just staying with that company for like 5, 10, 15 years? You would get 100x, 200x easily, no problem. So let's get into this because we already know JD already had JD Health and they IPO'd that. And that was a huge success. So now they're looking to IPO JD Logistics. And when we think about JD Logistics, we really got to think about how they're implementing their market and what they're doing. And they just really are focusing on delivery. JD Logistics is all about delivery and like that fast delivery time. So this is a very important aspect because we know everyone is going into this market. Everyone is going into e-commerce. So they want to help out big companies doing e-commerce. Like they want to expand their e-commerce and get actually third party people to use their e-commerce. And JD wants to be the most dominant force in this e-commerce space of logistics. And they're going to do this by actually implementing all these drones, autonomous vehicles, all these logistics aspects, so they don't have to actually have all these workers. And that's going to make JD probably the best company because all these other companies already have all these employees and they have to like kind of keep them. They're not going to fire all those guys and they don't have they're not gonna like reboot a whole network of places with robots now because they already have their setup. But JD already has that autonomous setup and they've been doing this from the beginning. So with that, they can have all these huge cost savings down the line if they have everything autonomous, everything robotic, everything like that. So I feel like there's a huge upside, and this is probably might dominate the competition because remember, JD is already behind Alibaba, and Alibaba has a third-party delivery system. So but they own Alibaba owns a stake in the third-party delivery system. I think it's called like Canal or something. And but JD Logistics owns JD.com owns JD Logistics, but when they IPO, they're gonna still have a 50% stake in JD Logistics, so they're still gonna make money off this company, and they're trying to build. So JD Logistics is all about trying to build an empire in this whole space of delivery, and They're gonna be the second company. They're gonna be behind CF Express when they IPO. So their revenue already grew like 34% in this quarter, like $77 billion, and JD.com is still not profitable. So that's where the risk comes in. These companies that IPO are still not profitable. So we still gotta see like, is this company the next big thing in this logistics space? Because they're gonna be a lot of competitors, but the thing about JD is it has the huge infrastructure. It's not like Alibaba that just has like a marketplace. Like JD has its own infrastructure, has its own products in store, which generates makes it have so much more money than it generates so much more money than Alibaba, but there's lower margins. But if they can get other people to use the logistics services, and that's been growing like 40% year over year, then that could be huge going into the future. So they need this $5 billion when they IPO to continue this expansion and continue keep investing into the business. And they're just trying to build a huge supply chain of like good technology That's all they want. They want they're using 5G, AI, big data, cloud computing, internet things just for delivery. So you can see this market expanding. It wants to build an integrated on demand and increase autonomous logistics infrastructure at a huge scale. And they're the ones building this huge scale, and they're going to be the ones having this huge, honestly, monopoly in this section. So we can see JD Logistics growing and growing and growing in the future as more companies have to get into this e-commerce space, because the e-commerce space is gonna it's booming. Like, we know the Chinese market for e-commerce is growing at like 20%. So if JD Logistics has all the setup for e-commerce, it's just gonna other companies have to use that infrastructure to deliver their products. And JD's been delivering their products really good. Like in the last they can deliver in like 24 hours, same day delivery, and they have that, and they have 100 like fulfillment sites, and they're getting into these smaller areas in the Chinese market because there's a lot of districts that a lot of people can't get into, and JD is trying to expand those districts that don't have as many delivery services, and they're just getting that huge that moat around that delivery aspect of the company. So we can expect JD.com and their logistics to like just keep booming and booming, and getting these huge growth aspects of actually IPOing, having their own section, operating on its own. So we're gonna see what JD.com logistics can do into the future, because there's a huge demand for e-commerce right now. So let's look at some of the like stuff they have. Like, let's look at some of the drones they have. Uh, Look at this, the delivery drone. Like 80% of JD's orders are delivered by drones. It can deliver by drones. So like, we're seeing what they're capable of doing, and they have this space on lockdown. And this is just gonna expand once they use more 5G, more AI, and everything like that. So you can just see the delivery drones and how it can go and where it's going for. And then we can even go to and this is JD's competitors. So it's just interesting to see that this market is huge right now. Look at these. Look at all this. Like, can you imagine not having to pay workers and just having everything delivered to you like this? So there it is. Basically, like, JD has the logistics, has all this autonomous vehicles, and they're gonna have the biggest kind of like infrastructure for just delivering. So we can predict how dominant this company could be, but the only thing I'm worried about, that it's not profitable yet, but that should be okay. Um, so going into the future, I want to know, what do you guys think about this company? Is this a good company to invest in? Can you see this company becoming like huge in the future? Because I feel like we need to find one or two companies that we can invest in and hold for 5 to 10 years and get that huge benefit of becoming an early adopter into one of these smaller companies. Not really smaller, but one of these companies that can have huge potential in the future. And we know they're building their competitive moat. Like, all that infrastructure is gonna build the economy of scales and forcing people to use their shipment delivery services, because that fast shipment is what motivates people to actually buy their products. Like, everyone is so used to fast delivery. So, and JD.com logistics is gonna have that very fast delivery. So, what do you guys think about this company? Do you see this company being a huge future growth into the future and providing really long-term gains? So tell me what you guys think. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace.